Day 3 of the CrossFit Games is all done and wrapped up. We have our champions, and what a day 3 was. From the hardest workout that CrossFit has ever seen.
Run 1 mile, 100 handstand push-ups, 200 pistols, 300 pull-ups, run 1 mile.
To photo finishes on the sprint.
Oh,
and that's going to be a photo finish.
It was an absolutely class day. Grab your coffee, guys, take a seat and enjoy our little catch-up. So, day 3, we have 3 different events. We had the swim and stuff, or as the live stream like to say, the swin and stuff. And then we have the sprint, sled sprint, and then we have Atlanta. So going into the day, we didn't know what the first event was going to be. We didn't know what the swim and stuff was going to be, and we didn't know what Atlanta was. We knew the name, but we didn't know the details. And my God, when we get onto that one later on, guys, that is an absolutely disgusting workout. So this event 3, swim and stuff, was done in intervals. So you would do the exercises, you would cross over the line, and that would be your time for that round. There's 4 rounds in total, and then your times for all the rounds got added together, and that was your total score. And ball slams being in an event at the CrossFit Games was really weird to see, and especially pairing that with a swim, so you're all wet. There was definitely some different techniques that come into getting them ball slams as efficient as you could. We saw a few drops. Matt Fraser dropped the ball on his head, which was hilarious. It was loads of short, sharp sprints, and it was just a really good event to watch. On the guy's side going into this, you'd kind of have your money on Noah Olsen because of his swimming background. He was national water polo. And on the girls' side, Tia is known for her swimming as well, and she absolutely showed it. She was in a league of her own when it comes to the swimming. But seeing some of the guys diving into the water, they definitely wasn't looking the most elegant. Sam Quant actually came away with a victory, with Matt Fraser coming second. So
there's 2 seconds, so Sam Quant is going to win this event, and he's probably going to find himself in 2nd place overall.
And so it's only the 2nd event that Matt Fraser hasn't won. But it was funny when Sam Quant, just before his interview, he let out such a massive burp.
Had been just kind of quiet.
You could just tell how much pool water he drank throughout the event, that it absolutely killed them. The guys were absolutely knackered after this event.
5, we thought it was compressed earlier coming in.
The same.
And Clair Toomey absolutely shone when it come to the swim, because she got off the bike in the first round last.
And Toomey's actually going to be the last into the water here as we take a look at the...
And she was pretty much out of the pool first. Like, she just took over everyone. So her swimming technique is like nailed down to a T. She's absolutely bang on. When you got to the GHDs, it was Hayley Adams who looked like an absolute monster. And they always say that CrossFit Mayhem, where she trains, they do so much GHD sit-ups, so much running and swimming, that this is kind of like almost like a perfect event for her. And then all the guys and all the girls had such a weird technique when it comes to the ball slams. It was more of like a floor to overhead. There wasn't really slamming the ball and pushing it down, and it was because of the grip and the water and the ball being wet. So going from something like a swim into ball slams is something that you wouldn't really ever program. But that was it for event number 1. Tia winning on the girls' side, Sam Quant winning on the guys' side, making Sam Quant solidly in 2nd place going into the next event. The next event being the sprint, sled sprint. This one was crazy. It's not a long event. It's literally go as fast and as hard as you can. Go to that pain cave and stay there throughout it. Clair Toomey was really impressive in this event. She absolutely smashed it. It was good to see the different techniques that they used. So like her and Brooke Wells used completely different techniques.
2 different styles right there. Toomey leaning over into that sled. Brooke Wells very upright.
Brooke Wells were really catching her on the sled, but Tia absolutely smashed the sprints, taking 1st place for the women there.
Is going to cruise to her 9th event victory, but this is big for Brooke Wells because she came in 5th place overall.
And then going into the guys event, Matt Fraser went out really hot, really quick on the sprint. Sam Quant were just behind him. And then when it comes to the sled, both the guys, like normally you'd think when you're pushing a sled, you want to get down really low, lock your arms out in front and use your leg drive to get there. But it were almost like the most efficient technique, getting close to the sled, arms bent and just kind of almost standing up and just running, holding it basically. Matt Fraser and Samuel Quant both took that technique on board. And then going into the final sprint, Matt Fraser was just in front. Sam Quant was like a man on the mission. He looked like Terminator.
Ahead of Sam Quant. Fraser looking like he's going to hang on, but
he was basically hunting him down, and he was catching him up as well. It was not, if there was any runners out there, they would not be praising his technique. But he got there, and it was a photo finish across the line.
Oh,
and that's going to be a photo
goodness.
finish.
Matt Fraser winning by 0.4 of a second.
Matt Fraser by 0.4 of a second over Sam Quan.
So that was an absolutely insane, close photo finish to watch. And you could see how much Matt Fraser made it hurt by the end of the interview after the event. He just like waddled off.
Thanks so much. Congrats.
Thank you. Well, Matt Fraser's going to hobble off and probably find an ice tub.
It's like when you've had that really, really horrible leg day and you didn't walk down the stairs. He looked like that, like almost walking like he'd pooed himself. And then we come into the final event of the day. And my God, what is wrong with Dave Castro? He is like the devil of CrossFit programming with this one. So Atlanta, the last event, and by far the hardest test.
We'll do at Atlanta with a weight vest. Run 1 mile, 100 handstand push-ups, 200 pistols, 300 pull-ups, run 1 mile.
My God, so this workout is going to be absolute hell. And I've got on my laptop here notes about each event that we're going to, like, little things I'm going to talk about. This one, I've got about 25 different notes. So I'm going to try and work through these as we go. But this one was absolutely horrible. So it must have been so daunting going into this event. All 10 athletes went at the same time. The two leaders being in the middle, so Matt Fraser and Tia, who were obviously training partners as well. So this was like almost like they treated it as like a synchro partner chipper workout, and it was just awesome to see how they worked together and how they trained together. Literally, they were so synchronized throughout the entire event, like taking rests at the same times. Even when they were doing the pull-ups, they were just in sync. They were in rhythm the entire time. So that was good, so good to see how the two fittest people on earth are training together as training partners. Carrie Pierce went out first in the run, and everyone thought that she was going out a bit hard and she was going to burn out. But as soon as she got to the handstand push-ups, you could see her gymnastics background really, really come into play. So she was absolutely smashing out the handstand push-ups, and she stayed in front for the entire workout. Her background in gymnastics really shone, and she could see that she was just ready to go. And she even said right at the end that she actually enjoyed that workout.
I like that workout.
That Pierce.
What would normally be the workout from hell, she actually seemed to enjoy. One thing I loved when it came to Matt and Tia finishing on the handstands, they came onto the pistol squats. They whipped out the power hats.
To the
Bucket
pistols.
hats.
I think they shop at the same store, too.
Matt was an absolute genius by putting ice in his hat, then putting his hat on his head.
Overheating. You see that a lot in distance events, say like triathlons. They had has is dramatic. So that's a savvy move by Matt Fraser.
And he was just powering through, letting that cold ice just melt on his head. You just got to appreciate how efficient and how good looking Matt's pistol squats are. He's just so efficient, even with the toe grab, keeping him more upright, and he's just so balanced and stable on that foot. Whereas a lot of other people were like flinging the legs out to the side, and they just wasn't keeping that consistent form and consistent rhythm. When Carrie Pierce got onto the run at the end, it was so funny to see. She looked like a fish, like trying to gasp for air, like mouth open as wide as she could, like. When you're doing high volume gymnastic exercises like there were in this workout here, one thing that is bound to happen is someone is going to rip and going to tear the calluses on the hand.
Want movement of your palm on that bar.
The right hand looks like.
And I've been there. You just can't chalk that enough.
Hayley Adams put a story on her Instagram afterwards. You could see the blood and you could see that she'd ripped during the event, but the rip looked so bad, and I swear a few of the guys did really rip towards the end of that event. Carrie Pierce finishing first for the girls, Catherine's David daughter coming in second, Tia coming in third, and Tia and Matt crossed the line at the same time, and that was absolutely awesome to see. It was almost a little bit emotional. And Matt came first in the guys as well, so Matt winning the event for the guys got the same time as what third place for the girls was going to be. As the rest of the guys came and crossed the line, you could see how much that event hurt. And apart from Catherine, she seemed to enjoy it. She just kept the weight vest on afterwards. You saw Noah also laying on the dirt hill, going talking to him while still wearing the weight vest. Just take the bloody thing off. And it was funny when Dave Castro announced the winners of the CrossFit Games and said that Tia and Matt were the fittest people on earth.
CrossFit Games champions, Matt Fraser and Clair Toomey!
He just announced it and then nothing happened.
that it?
But that was it. That was the CrossFit Games 2020 rounded up. Justin, the 21-year-old winning Rookie of the Year. Catherine, David's daughter, after her back injury, won Spirit of the Games, which I thought was absolutely awesome, and she really seemed to be doing all the events with a smile on her face throughout the entire weekend. But the final standings for the top three were on the girls' side. We had Tia was the fittest on earth. Second place was Catherine, David's daughter, and third place was Carrie Pierce. And on the guys' side, Matt Fraser obviously being the fittest on earth. Second place went to Sam Kwan, and third place went to Justin Medeiros. Seeing the rookie coming in and getting third place, sitting on that podium in his first CrossFit Games. But that is everything for the CrossFit Games 2020. Now it's just about getting prepared and ready for the CrossFit Open in 2021. Starting around February time, definitely going to be getting involved this year. My main goal this year is to be able to perform it at RX, hopefully. So I don't really care about my placing. I want to just be able to perform all the moves. I want to be able to kind of carry out and complete all the competitions at competition standard. Let me know in the comments below, guys, if you've got any goals going forward into the season of 2021. Anything at all, let me know what your goals are down in the comments below. Also, let me know if you've enjoyed the CrossFit Games, you've enjoyed these kind of video, these recaps of the game. Make sure you subscribe for more CrossFit-based content in the future. And there is one last thing to say. Stay obsessed.